Hey guys, back up in North Queensland. Just a quick clip this morning in relation to the Jackery. If you watched my channel for a while, you know I've got a Jackery solar generator there, and the whole idea of having that is not so much for camping, but if I have power outages here at home, I can use it at night time to keep things in the house powered. Well, woke up this morning at 1 o'clock and it was bloody hot. I thought, why is it so hot? No power, ceiling fans were off. And I thought, I'll give it 10 minutes and see if the power comes back on. Nah, and I thought, well, normally we lose power after a storm or, you know, a cyclone for a couple of weeks or whatever. Last night, it was no rain, no storms, we just lost power. Why? I do not know. Maybe a car hit a power pole somewhere, I don't know. Didn't know how long the power was going to be out, but let me tell you, even at this time of the year in late March, if there's no ceiling fans, you will not sleep at night. It's too hot. So I thought, that's it, I'm going out to grab the Jackery. So it was a bit of stuffing around, I should keep it in here. Went out the shed, grabbed the Jackery, and then I thought, where have I put the amphibian to go from 10 to 15 amps? And I couldn't remember where I'd put it. It was in the caravan. I'll keep it in the caravan now. So because I haven't had it out for a long time and used it, I was a bit rusty, guys. I was all over the shop. So anyway, I finally got the Jackery inside. I'll show you what I did soon. Got the Jackery inside, found the amphibian. I'll explain why I need that, and a power lead, which I had tangled up like a fishing line with my other power lead. And they might have to go on reels themselves. So anyway, finally got it up and running, and we got power back to the house, and I had it powered on for about 2.5 hours, and then I got up again for a tinkle, saw the street lights were on, so I turned the Jackery off and put it back to normal mains power. I'll show you how I do that soon. And to do this, I had to have what they call a generator switch fitted in the house. So anyway, I'll turn the camera around and I'll just show you how I set it up and that, and I'll give you a quick run through. I'm down in the back lounge room here at the moment, where there's a power box for the house. So there's the power box there, everyone. That's the generator switch I got put in. So if I lose power after a cyclone or whatever, I can crank the angle generator up and power the house up, okay? The whole idea is the generator, that can be used during the day, but at night time you don't want generators going to annoy everyone. Someone would have come over and knocked me clean out if I started the generator up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's where this bad boy here gets me out of trouble. It's the Jackery 2000 plus. Okay, it's got a 3000 watt inverter in it, can run 240 off it and 12 volts. Okay, 2042 watt hours, which is, I don't know, about 170 amp hours, guys. So that was provided to me from Jackery, and I tell you what, it's come in handy a couple of times now, and especially last night. And the whole idea, if you haven't seen my old clip, is that I can keep the ceiling fans and some lights and that on if we lose power in the house, using the Jackery at night, okay, and then in the morning when the Jackery's down low, then I can charge the I can either run my generator into the generator switch up there, or charge the Jackery up using the generator, using 240 volts. So I can charge that up in just over an hour using the generator. So last night we lost power. We didn't know how long it was going to be off. So what I do is I come out, I got the Jackery set up out of the shed, obviously, as you've seen. And with this one here, I just need to turn the solar panels off. Okay, the solar switch there, turn that off. This bar here, ergon up, ergon energy. So mains power up, generator down. So if I want to turn to generator power, the first thing I do is I turn all the switches off for lights, power, stove, mains, all this type of stuff. Okay, all the switches for the thing, turn them off. Flick this down to generator, and what that does then is allows me to put power into this 15 amp generator switch, and then I can provide power to the house. So instead of using mains power, I use generator power, or as I said, the Jackery's the same as the generator. I can provide power out of that. So flick that down, and then what I do then is I choose what I want on. I don't need the stove on, so I didn't flick that on. I flicked them all on except the stove, okay? Then what I do is I come over here, and if you're wondering why I've got a little box and that amphibian there, everyone, it's quite weighty and it was not staying in the plug properly, so I've just got to keep it propped up so it doesn't fall out of the plug. But the Jackery, I turn it on at the power, let that power up, and you'll be able to see soon 41% left on it. And then what I do now is I activate the 240 volts. So I've got three 10 amp 240 volts here. Activate the 240. So what happened here is this amphibian thing I've got here, guys. The Jackery only has got 10 amps. Okay, I need 15 for the generator switch. So this amphibian, it's got a 10 amp plug on this side. It plugs into the 10 amp, and on this side here, it's got a 15 amp plug. Okay, so then I'll get a 15 amp power lead. It's the same one I'd run my caravan on or whatever. Okay, 15 amp male into there, and then I'll grab the female, which I can see has got a light on it, which means I've got power coming out now from the Jackery, and then I plug that into the generator switch there, and then I can flick the switches on here and power the house. And as soon as I did that, the ceiling fans came back on, I heard beeping, I heard the fridges come back on. So last night, when I plugged the Jackery in, it was on 100%. It was on for about 2.5 hours, but I had the whole house running off that last night. After a cyclone, if I just need one fridge and some ceiling fans, okay, I would go around. I'll give you an example here. This fridge here, it's my son Phil. This fridge here, we just had water, and it's more of a drinks fridge. Okay, I would unplug that. Out here in the carport, out where Roz's car is there, is a massive big chest freezer. I'd unplug that. We wouldn't run the chest freezer. Okay, the only fridge I would need running, I've got another fridge out in the shed, a camping fridge in the shed. I'd unplug that. I don't need that going. In times of no power, we just need one fridge going, and we've got another fridge similar to that, same size, up in the kitchen, okay? And that's the one with all our food in it. So that's the fridge I would need up and running. But for last night, I knew the power wouldn't be off for too long, so I just thought I'll just leave everything running. I'll leave all the freezer and all that. So what the Jackery did last night, until we got power on again, is it kept the fridges running. The fridges kept coming back up, so it kept the big chest freezer, that fridge, another one up in the kitchen, the fridge out in the shed. It kept the ceiling fans going so we could get to sleep, and it did the job. It really did. It did the job, but it was only on for 2.5 hours, and it chewed 60% of its power. So it might have got us through to early morning, and if that's the case, if it was after cyclone and we still didn't have power now, I could go out, because it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, start the generator up, run a 10 amp lead in, and recharge the Jackery up there. And then during the day, I run the generator lead into there and run the power. I'll run the house off the generator during the day. At night time, I get the Jackery going. If I had to run the Jackery all night, that will not power my house all night. But if I turn the big freezer, one of the fridges off, non-essential stuff, that'll get me through the night just to run one fridge and some ceiling fans. So it's come in handy. I've had to use it in anger now last night, and we've got the ceiling fans up and running. We can turn a light on to see what we can do. The Jackery, absolutely brilliant for that. Now, do I need more power in that Jackery to run the house? Absolutely. The Jackery, you can get extra batteries. You can get another 4 to stack on there, okay? Trouble is, you'd have to be as rich as Elon Musk to do it, because I thought I wouldn't mind doubling the power of this Jackery. Anyway, I went in and had a look at the price, $2,800, guys, for another 2042 watt hour battery to double the capacity of that. I just can't justify that expense. Really, for $2,800 for a 170 amp battery, come on, it's just overpriced. So that's my only thing with Jackery. There's a few little things that could improve on, but the price, and if someone said, Buck, would you buy a Jackery? Yeah, I would if I had the money. but they are expensive, guys. It's probably $3 grand for that thing sitting in front of you there. And as I said, wouldn't have minded a backup battery to double the capacity. You know, if I had another battery on top there, I could probably get through the whole night with everything running. But for $3 grand, nah, I'd rather just unplug a few fridges and freezers and just use what I've got there. But anyway, it did the job. It was fantastic. The main thing for us after a cyclone up here, because I live in the hot part of Australia, and it's still hot up here in March, late March, quite hot and still muggy. Got to have ceiling fans or you can't sleep. So that got us out of trouble last night. Got the ceiling fans back up and running, and we ended up having a good night's sleep. Got up this morning, mains power was back on. So what I'll do now is just unplug everything, take the Jackery out the shed, plug him into 240, charge him up to 100% so it's ready to go for next time. So there you go, guys. I've had to use it in anger, and I'm quite confident that after a cyclone, if we've got no power for weeks, that at least at night I can run one fridge, run some ceiling fans so we can get some circulation in the house, and turn a light on if we need to. But what I would have to do is go around and unplug that fridge, the big chest freezer, the fridge in the shed, and any other non-essential stuff is unplug it so the Jackery's not working so hard. All right, hope you get a bit of an idea there, but the Jackery working with my generator should get me out of trouble after a cyclone. So there you go. I hope I give you a few good ideas for your own house, guys. Take it easy, eh? Catch you later.